Chris Stirewalt, Fox News politics editor and editor of the Halftime Report, joins us now. It's past your bedtime.
Well, no, it's
kind of.
We're rocking and rolling.
Okay, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so listen, infrastructure is one thing that a lot of folks think the president can get some bipartisan movement on, but it was interesting. We got differing reactions from Democrats, so I want to put those up and let you react to them. Senator Dick Durbin says if the president chooses to follow through on his prepared remarks tonight, he will find Democrats ready to work with him on lowering prescription drug prices, making massive new investments in America's crumbling roads and bridges, passing meaningful paid family leave legislation, and protecting dreamers. Now, the top Democrat in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, says this: after a long and divisive year, many Americans were yearning for the president to present a unifying vision for the country. Unfortunately, his address tonight stoked the fires of division instead of bringing us closer together. Is this a little good cop, bad cop?
Right. I think there you see the role of Schumer, who's got to keep Democrats in line so that they can actually vote and stick together as a bloc. In the minority, unity is so crucial. But Durbin's job is to cut the deal with Trump. That's what Durbin is there for. He's there to cut the deal with Trump. So he is trying to send as many messages to the White House that he can. I'm here. I'm ready. Let's do business.
Do you think that did you expect to hear more bipartisanship in this speech tonight? Because it's something the White House kind of sold us was coming.
Well, look, we should say, first and foremost, that as a piece of stagecraft, this was an excellent speech in that way. It was a lot like the speech he gave last year, but it was sort of an improved version of the one he gave a year ago. You sort of switch out Obamacare. Last year it was all about Obamacare. This year is switch the immigration piece in for that. You're dealing with that. The mistake the White House made with this is they promised bipartisanship. The Washington Post, here's how it goes. The Washington Post obviously had their first edition in the can. I wish I had a print version in here to show you. The Washington Post had their first version in the can. A New Era of Bipartisanship or something reads the first edition. And then as the reviews are coming in on the speech, they go, never mind. Actually, dump that. And by the second and third editions, they're on to a new vision for America or something, whatever their takeaway line for him was. The White House and to a degree the president's friends in the press, they overstated how much bipartisanship was going to be here. So the parts of it that were there probably got lost, because if they wouldn't have built it that way, if they had under-promised and over-delivered on bipartisanship, you would have had a different narrative going into tomorrow.
Reaction. Okay, so the moments that seemed to have the most impact were the ones that were tied to all these personal stories.
Oh, yeah.
And so the president was able to hammer home some of his policy points by just things that brought tears to your eyes. If you have a beating heart and you saw the man who escaped North Korea hold up his crutches that he used to escape through China to get to freedom. I mean, these stories were amazing, and that wasn't the only one. There were first responders, there were heroes of all kinds.
That family, I believe he was a firefighter, and his wife, and they adopted that baby from the woman who was in the throes of heroin addiction. Mm-hmm. And you see that, and but the crutches will be the moment.
Yeah,
that will be the crutches will be the takeaway. That's the visual. But I gotta say, he gave a good speech a year ago, and people said, okay, maybe he can do this. This is good. They weren't sure about him. He was only a month into office. What matters is tomorrow. Mm-hmm. A year ago, the White House wasn't ready to execute, and then they wasted 5 or 6 months. They failed on repealing Obamacare a few times, and they groped around in the dark trying to find a way to do this. They finally got the tax cut passed. I shouldn't say finally. Quite surprisingly and impressively for them, they got the tax cut passed. The question for this White House now is, they've got a big agenda. Can they execute? Can they put these pieces into place? And most importantly for them now, they got to get a deal on illegal immigration and legal immigration, or the rest of this is just a bunch of bunkum.
So the president, again, as we talked about, the meat of his speech, we're outlining the 4 pillars of this deal the White House hopes to put together. But overall, the speech was pretty upbeat. I mean, the president talked about how well the country is doing. He talked about the future and how we're all going to come together and we can work together and make this country better than ever. Sounded a hopeful tone. It sounded in contrast to what we heard. There were numerous Democratic responses tonight, but the official one from
Joseph Kennedy, Congressman Joseph Kennedy, that emotional support peacock that they were trying to put on a Delta flight.
Did he need that?
He needed that bird.
But is that the role of the minority to say, like, things are not good and I'm just warning you this is not good?
They were not prepared. He was not prepared for the speech that Trump was going to give. Trump did not give a bipartisan speech. He gave a partisan red meat speech where he was keeping doing what he does, which is keep that 35 to 40% of the country that's with him. He keeps them with him, and they love him, and they walked away from this saying, I love this guy even more than ever. But when the Democrats had their response, he was upset, he was anxious, he was terrified, he seemed like he was afraid of the moment. Bring the peacock in, chill everybody out.
It's time for PJs for you.
PJs.
I got a few more minutes.
Peacock and PJs.
Peacock PJs. Do you have peacock PJs?
If only. If only.
Listen, I know what, if I get you for Secret Santa this year, I'm 11 months out, but I know what you're getting. Chris Stirewalt, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.